of youth. 10 to lysine clues that mean that perhaps in the coming decades, we might be able to actually unravel the aging process. We don't have it yet. Don't go out to the drugstore and stock up on these kinds of chemicals and enzymes thinking you're going to live forever. However, it is conceivable that in the coming decades we'll come very close to finding it.
Thank you. Now, what does he say? Within the coming decade we may find it. This is 2 years old. This is 2 years old. We've found almost all of it. He talks about resveratrol. Don't take drink wine and think you're going to live longer. Of course not. Maybe if you drink enough of it, you feel like you might for the night. but what we've done is we've taken what Harvard University researched and found, and what they did is they found when they concentrated the ingredients in red wine, because they were looking at it because of what they call the French paradox. The French eat fatty foods, all kinds of things like that, do a lot of drinking, a lot of smoking, and they had less rates of heart attack and cardiovascular disease. So what was the issue? They found out it was the ingredients in red wine. They talk about resveratrol, but there are 4 of them. And it's like playing the piano with one finger. Yankee Doodle went to down, or you can play Rachmaninoff's second piano concerto. If you use all the fingers, you know what to do. And those synergistic ingredients are in red wine. So Harvard University took it, and they took it to the point of where about equivalent of 125 glasses of red wine, muscadine grape, concentrated down, if you took a therapeutic dose of that, you could extend aging. And they did it in every animal. Mice, their lifespan doubled. They have, and you can see it on some of the studies, they had a rhesus monkey. And the rhesus monkey lives, they have 97% of the same genes as in the human being. Almost a perfect match with Dan Kinnison. But 97% of the genes that are in the human genome are in the rhesus monkey, and they took 2, and they took them litter mates, and at 28 years the one that wasn't on the product was sitting there, and you can see it, and you can come to even our website and see it, and you can see it's an old monkey. It's sitting there, it's fat, it's lethargic, its eyesight is dull, its hair is all gray, and it just sits like this. The other monkey is bouncing around that cage like it was a young teenage monkey, chattering, everything else. The difference is it was on the ingredients that are in resveratrol. You see? So ask yourself, what kind of monkey do you want to be? You want to monkey around for a little while longer in life? We can do that. Because we have just double the dosage in ours that Harvard had in their research studies. That's what we have. They sold their studies to GlaxoSmithKline for $720 million so they can make a synthetic drug out of it. We've got the product now. It worked in nature. We've got it right now. And when you take it with those 2 other ingredients that said Spectromax, which has 40 different types of antioxidants to neutralize all the different types that are coming after your body to rust, to decay, to corrode you, we can stop that. And food, you can eat organic food, but if it's deficient in trace minerals, it's deficient. It's either in the soil or it's not. And if it's not in the soil, it's not in the food. If it's not in the food, it's not in our bodies. So Spectromax, 1/2 an ounce a day, will give you the equivalent of 22 servings of fruits and vegetables and all of the inorganic trace minerals that are necessary for 2,000 essential biological functions going on in your body right now. And if you don't have the ingredient, when the function happens, it doesn't happen. Either collapses or it, oh, and here's the product right here. Thank you. Appreciate that. So here's eternity. Take a snort of this in the morning and make a new person out of it. And get no alcohol, but 274 glasses of red wine in 20 ml of this. Just about 2/3 of an ounce. Then here is Spectromax. 40 powerful antioxidants. You know how much juices you'd have to drink to get the equivalent of 20 ml of this? About 6 55-gallon drums. That's true. That's how much is concentrated in this with 40 different types of antioxidants. Why? Because there's over 2,000 groups of free radicals that have different chemistries that must be neutralized so they don't neutralize systems within you, and we've got it. There are 74 essential trace minerals in this. That's what your body needs to function, and food's 75% deficient with them now. Be it organic or not organically farmed, it's deficient in it. They're here. But inorganic minerals are not absorbable, very absorbable, about 3% absorbable. So we looked at it, and we said, how does a plant absorb inorganic nutrients from the soil? And there's a mechanism in which they do it, and it's called organic fulvic acid. You don't need to know all this stuff. I'm just telling you because you got me right now, so you can get some credibility of what we're doing. It's the way that the solar energy is split by chlorophyll in the leaves and secreted into the soil in a sugar. And in the soil, that sugar, which has photonic energy converted to chemical energy, microbes eat it. And in a symbiotic relationship for that, they secrete an acid which etches or attaches to minerals and holds on to it like a magnet. And then it's in the smallest size. See, it's ionic. It's not colloidal. Those are too big. Ionic. So if someone's telling you to use trace minerals and it's colloidal, that means they're huge. Ionic is small, the smallest ones. And so then as the sun starts to heat it up and they start to suck moisture, up comes the nutrients. With the inorganic material, inorganic trace minerals and organic trace minerals attached to it, with the energy of the sun converted to chemical energy, and it goes in, you have a 91 to 97% absorption rate versus 3%. And then it takes it to your cells. Look at this mechanism. This organic fulvic acid is nature's miracle molecule because it has the energy of the sun, it picks up the nutrients, it absorbs it, it goes to the cell. Inorganic materials hit the cell, they don't go in because they don't have the key to open the lock. It's an organic part of it that does. So the organic fulvic acid now fits the lock. It opens it up. The cells take it in. Immediately enzymes split it up. They take the nutrients, they take the minerals, they create the biological activity. And what happens with the fulvic acid? It releases the power of the sun. That photonic energy is converted to chemical energy, and your body radiates with energy with it. But it's not done there, folks. This is like a ShamWow advertisement. It's not there. What happens then is delivered the goods. It's brought the nutrients. It's energized the cell, and now it empties the garbage. Because what happens in your body, you build up accumulation. And it attaches to the accumulation and holds on to it. Because it's unstable again, see? And just like in the soil, it was unstable to grab the nutrients. Now it's released those, and what's left, this is part of God's great design for us. Now it will grab on the materials that went in that didn't get completely used, that didn't get out, toxic heavy metals that build up, and it will grab it, and it'll hold on to it, and it takes it out, and you excrete it from your body. Man, is that not hot chemistry? That's so hot. There's nutrition where you want it. There's everything your body needs. That's the thing that this physicist was talking about. Well, we build up this accumulation and the cells get gunked up. Okay, they get gunked up. Here's the degunker right here. Degunk your cells and deliver the nutrients. Bring in the essential ingredients for life. Bring in the products that will counteract those things that are oxidizing, corroding, degenerating you, and fuel your body. Equivalent of 22 servings of fruits and vegetables, 6 55-gallon drums of juice for antioxidant power, 74 essential trace minerals, 40 antioxidants. Tell me this isn't a miracle in a bottle. This son of a gun is built. See? It's really built. Now, doubles the lifespan of any type of animal that it was used on. What do you think it does when we combine it with this one? What have you got? 1 and 1 is 10, right? Yeah. That's the way it works. You got so much more power than working together. So what else is left? Well, things have degenerated. This increases regeneration. In a week, you have 100% increase in regeneration in the brain with eternity, and 200% within the rest of your body. You are regenerated. He talked about the sirtuin genes. You got to starve yourself together, but this is what activates those sirtuin genes. He says you get 30% with starvation. What you do is you get double with activation. See? This is the difference. You get double with activation. And you got to have the fuel to run on. Here it is. You got to take out the trash. Here it is. You got to have the energy. Here it is. So this turns on your biology. This takes you back to the biology of youth. The sirtuin genes are those that grew you from conception to adulthood and switch off, but they're like a light switch. They're like piano keys that aren't being played, and this flips them on. This plays the keys, and it's the key of life. And this is a major step towards ending aging. Doesn't mean you're immortal, but it means it ends aging, okay? And with the 40 antioxidants in this, it stops that oxidation degeneration that's taking place. But what's happened to that which has happened? What happens to the plaque that builds up? You don't know all this, but plaque builds up around the cells in your body. You know it is with Alzheimer's and that, but it builds up in your cells. This deplaques it. It breaks those things down and starts deplaquing it, so that now nutrients and oxygen and things can come in the cell and waste can get out, and the cells start operating better. Do you see the science behind this? I'm going quick because I haven't got so much time. See, kind of like my love life. But anyway, I've got to get through it fast. Got a flight going on. Here's the last one. National Geographic, about 5 years ago or so, put out the secrets of longevity. And they said there are 3 types of people that live the longest on this earth. It's Seventh-day Adventists because of their strict lifestyle of avoiding a lot of harmful ingredients. The second are people from the island of Sardinia because they have great genetics and they live in a pristine environment. And the third now is the people of Okinawa in Japan. Not of Japan, Okinawa. And now it's been found of Tonga because they eat fruit or vegetables from the sea. Seaweed, kombu. Sounds like gumbo, but it's kombu. Kombu has got fucoidan in it. Fucoidan does more things in more parts of the human body than any ingredient in the world. So says Harvard University, and I believe them. Okay? So, because and the people in Okinawa, they smoke a lot, they drink a lot, they live in an industrialized society, and they have the longest lifespan. But so do people in Tonga, because they eat limamui. And limamui has fucoidan in it, but not one type, it has 3 types, and it's much more abundant. And so they have the longest lifespan, less heart attacks, and all that kind of thing. So what does that mean? How does it work? Well, it works on activating stem cells. It works on bringing your immune system up. See, as you get older, your immune system goes down. It's not destroyed. Here's what happens to your immune system. It gets confused because of viruses, mainly flu viruses, but cold can do it too. And so that constant attack, pretty soon the immune system doesn't know how to go and how to direct it. It's sitting there in limbo. This reorganizes the immune system, and in one day you have a 400% increase in immune activity. In one day it does it that quick. And it's a cell signaler, and I have probably 20 patents on this product. And I have 10 on our Eternity product, because we're doing what no one else has done before. So we take it and we look at it, and science says, well, in nature it works pretty good, but only 1 in 8 molecules work because the others don't have a bond with sulfur. With a bond with sulfur, takes the energy and transfers it. So I have a patented system to bond all 8. So that makes it 800% more powerful. Now I'm telling this and it's not so relevant, but you're getting a big dose of product right here today. So I have learned how to make these products better because science knows how to do it. But unless they can make a prescription drug, it doesn't come out. See? With it. So I'm taking what they've discovered, and with my knowledge and resources and laboratories and scientists and my personal knowledge, and I am really gifted by God in this area to understand these things and to put them together. And you can see I'm talking without a note. You know, here I know what I'm talking about. Other companies are selling products that other companies are selling, or like products that other companies are selling, and that's the way they are. They are less than spectacular. They underperform and they're overhyped. These can perform better than what I can say. Many conditions that you're interested in right now, I dare not say what these can do. But you could go to PubMed.com and you could type in the ingredients in there and you could see the studies that come up and you say, oh my gosh, they're clinical studies. How many on resveratrol? 4,600. How many on fucoidan? About 1,000, see, on those kinds of things. It's just absolutely amazing the research that's there. You ever hear of Tahitian noni? You know how many studies on it? 22. Why 22? It's not worth the money. You waste money. There's no potential power in it. But there is with this. So that's what we're talking about. So with this, we can end aging. Turn on the genes of youth. Provide the essential nutrition that you need. Block the oxidizers that are accelerating your decay. Free radicals, okay, with these antioxidants. And then all of the nutrients. 22 servings of fruits and vegetables. And then come around and click on your immune system. Reorganize it. And this is probably the most powerful anti-inflammatory found in nature that I know of. And with it, inflammation is what causes most of the damage from a disease or a sickness. And this is a powerful anti-inflammatory. Does all that. Those three we call the triangle of life. And we call it triangle of life because that's really what you need. And with that, we believe in all reality that you can come very close to ending aging, ending that accelerated decay. And I'll give you an illustration of it right here, really quick. And I'm going quick. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to be that thing tonight, but my wife is graduating tomorrow, and she got her MBA, so I've got to get back. But here we go. There we went, okay. So here we go. Conception. Sperm and egg, one cell. Okay? And it develops, and we're born. We're born, we've gone from one cell, guess how many? 10 trillion in 9 months. Can you imagine duplication? Man, those cells build up faster than my mother-in-law can go down in a Big Mac. So anyway, and from birth, you keep growing until you get up here to about 25. At 25, you have 100 trillion cells. You see? And then after that, the sirtuin genes, the genes that grew you, the genes he was talking about here, that are there that starvation can activate, we can super activate those. And we can play those every day without you having to starve to death. But they get switched off. And so you start aging. Here at age 35, okay, you start aging. Here you're aging a day for a day. And actually you're growing younger, you see? So you're not losing, you're just growing younger. Now you start growing older as you live longer. You're living longer from here to here, but now as you live longer, instead of growing younger, you're growing older. So let's tip that equation back, okay? Would you like that? Yeah, would you like to be going like this? But you're grown, so your bones are hardened, you're not going to get bigger. But now you start aging 1.4 days for every day you live. So by 35 you're doing that. At 45, it goes by 0.8. So now you're aging 1.8 days for every day you live. And at 55, you now age at 2.2 days. Congratulations. Anybody here 50? When you woke up this morning, you're 2 days older than you were yesterday. How'd that feel? Didn't feel so bad until you learned about it today, right? Okay, at 65, it's 2.6 days. And at 75, it's 3.0 days. And at that point, it's time to put jam in your pockets because you're toast. You're pretty well gone. That's where the average lifespan is. That's where you die. But science says, geez, we matched the human genome, you can live to be 150. So when you die at 75, what have you died at? Middle age. And the Food and Drug Administration says, well, nobody dies of old age because they don't live that long. You die of a disease. And that disease usually kicks in somewhere in here. Somewhere right around here. The disease that's going to kill you kicks in. And the more you degenerate, the more cells you lose, the worse the disease becomes. And the accumulated decay, degeneration, and damage now eventually it kills you. Okay? But that which is going to kill you because of environment and your genetic code, suppose your body could be functioning here. What do you think would happen? It might never occur here, or if it did, it would be so minor. All right? So here we go. So we take a look at telomeres. Telomeres, there's a Nobel Prize given just 2 years ago because it was a breakthrough. At that point, they didn't know what telomeres were. They were like the tip of your finger on a chromosome. But when you have to make a new chromosome, when it's time for the chromosomes to duplicate, you have to. There's mother cells, stem cells. Okay, think of it like the queen bee. There's a queen bee in a hive. A big hive has 100,000 bees in it. Okay? And they die off a bee has about an average lifespan of maybe 2 months. Okay? So that's a busy queen bee, right? Okay, so equate 100,000 bees with 100 trillion cells in your body, so it's real easy. And this is what happens with telomeres. They're being rebuilt all the time you're growing because you've got lots of this telomerase and these other things rebuilding it. Well, now we found a way to support telomeres. And BACAPA is now being shown to support telomerase, the enzyme that does it. But telomeres degrade, and so we have antioxidants to keep them from degrading. That's why you should stop smoking, because it degrades telomeres so fast within you, okay? That's why you should stop bathing and brushing your teeth and shampooing unless you're using sizzle products, because they are degrading you. Smoking by far the worst, okay? So, give it up. Go and qualify in the bathroom using the same products you're using anyway. Instead of making it the most toxic environment, make it the safest environment that you're into. Does that make sense? Yeah. Why step in for a toxic overload when you can step in and you can become healthier because of what you're doing instead of unhealthy? Sure, your hair is nice and clean, but your body's polluted. You see? Okay, so here's what happens. Now, a queen bee produces all these bees, but as it gets old, it stops producing them, and the hive starts going down. When it gets to a certain point, it can't sustain itself anymore, and either the queen dies, or they get a new queen, or they split and they go off and form a new hive and start over again. All right? So at telomere units, when you're grown, you have about 10,000 of them. Okay? And those are just dots on the end of it. Okay? So what happens when it goes to divide is you got to make new cells. And you heard him say that it takes about 60 duplications of cells. So it's only going to do it 60 times. So when you want to create a new chromosome, tips from the telomere come and line up next to it. And with that, the strands of DNA connect from top to bottom. See, because it's on the bottom, it's on the top. And they weave the DNA through it, and you create a new chromosome. And then it separates, see? But as it separates, those telomere units that were taken from here to here, now they go with it. So it only happens 60 times. And the more it happens, the less they are. And they're triggered to the stem cells. So the stem cells, like queen bee, popping out eggs. Well, it's popping out cells. But as you lose less telomeres, it tries to expand your life, so stem cells slow down. And it slows down. And it slows down. So you go from 10,000 telomere units on a chromosome. 35, you're down to 9. 45, you're down to 8. 55, you're down, this is average, to 7. 65, 6. 75, about 5, and that's the time to put jam in your pockets because you are toast. But when you get to 5,000 telomere units, it's over pretty well for it. But they found that people that live to be over 100 years old have got higher levels of telomere units, you see, with it. And also, when you start getting down here, there's a thing called a cyclomegavirus that occurs in your body. You don't even know what that is, but I can tell you what it is. Stand next to an older person and smell that peculiar odor that's coming from their body. It's the same with all of them, and it's because they have cyclomegavirus, I believe. And that is from the decay that comes because telomeres allow the body system to slip so far it triggers in. And they talk about it starting to leave chicken tracks in the brain because you see it just starting to, and the brain is very much affected by it, and it goes down and down. And so when you get down here at age 75, you've lost about 25% of the mass of your brain. And through your body, as these things go down here in tens, you're losing 8 to 10% of your body mass. of your muscles, of your bones, of all those things. See? So what's the key to this? All right? If you start at 10, 9, 8, it's like countdown, isn't it? 7, 6, 5, okay? Below that, you're pretty well gone. All right, so here we sit. And with this, so what do we got to do? We've got to rebuild them. Okay? So now, TSX, da 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 da. Don't anybody leave, because I'm going to give away 10 bottles of this. Yeah. I just forgot them, so we'll take your name, we'll send them to you. Okay? All right. So if you're down here, guess what you lose? You lose about 100 telomere units a year. And you lose about 1,000 per decade, or 10 years. All right, so that's what's happening to you as you go down here. So, here's what we have. We took a look at the science and we thought, we can rebuild telomere units, or we can support telomere units so they aren't lost. Or we can support, we're actually supporting the body so that it can rebuild or maintain those telomere units. So what happens? Are you getting more lethargic? Are you losing more energy? Are you gaining weight because you're not burning it? Is your muscles going down? Is your hair gone gray? Are you losing your eyesight? Have you got bony hands because you're not producing enough skin to go up over them? Answer is yes, of course you are. And so that's because now they think the lack of telomere units. So if you take a product and it starts to build those telomere units up year by year by year by year by year by year, guess what happens? You're growing younger. You're living longer and you're growing younger. With this equation, when you enter the triangle of life, we say, okay, we stop it pretty well. We think we can stop it. That's the theory of ending aging. And you go sideways, or maybe slightly down. You don't keep going down here, and somewhere you live longer. But if you're on that death slide, you see, that where it ends here, if we end aging and you go this way, or it's going like this somewhat, how about if we end the aging, if we activate the genes of youth, if we start to build telomere units, and now, wherever you're at, you start going up, 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 up. And so what you do, you're living longer, but your equation is going like this, see? That's what you're doing. You're reversing aging. You're growing younger with this. And so I've made this mega formula, TSX. And that's why I put the comments up here. The things he was saying, he said in the next decade they'll be done. Okay, this is that decade. This is a couple of years since he did that. Those answers we have found, you know, it's a little piece of the pie that's still there. There are perhaps a little bit. But as far as the fountain of youth, you won't live forever. But how about 200 years? How would you feel about that if you were 40 forever? Would that turn you on? 40s forever? And live to be 150 to 200 years? Now science has made that possible. This is, now I'll say theory, because like he said, they tested everything but mankind. Why? Because it takes so long for things to happen to us. They have a longer lifespan. But now they're testing it on people. And they're seeing telomere units are being rebuilt. And we're going to have a test come out this month. If you want to have your telomeres tested, you can draw a blood sample. $250 it costs. Normally it's $800. We've negotiated a deal for us. You can send your blood in. They'll count your telomeres. And they'll tell you, maybe they'll say that you're sitting down here. Let's say you're 50 years old. So we'll flip one more. Let's say you're 50 years old on this thing. We'll use it as an example. And if you're not married, theorize that you're married for a minute. But you're 50 years old, okay? And they count your telomere units. And they say, you have 6,800 telomere units, okay? You want to get back to 10. Okay, with it. So what our formulation does is it supports the body to keep them from being lost and supports the body to regenerate new ones, either with nutritional material or now with the backup of which we have. The extracts, I built a product for the brain many, many years ago to return brain to its natural size, and I had no idea how I did it. I knew it was coming out of Ayurvedic medicine. We know they could see an increase in brain mass and that, and so I built a product and it really worked. But now they know what it is, so we've isolated, we've concentrated, and I went from a product that had about 10%, now I have one that's about 80% concentrated with that. And some others that are 98 and 99% in other areas. So I put mega power in this, and I know I'm down in time, but I'm going to go on. Once you got the stage, you own it. So anyway, learn that for your speaking. But I'm just going to finish this up real quick. Okay? So now you're 50. So I've designed a formula. If you're 50 and you're going to go on, and in a year from now, you're going to be 51. So let's say you chose to use TSX. This is you. And product X, that's your spouse. They chose not to use it. At a year, your both chronological age is going to be 51. But you lose 100 telomere units per year. You see? So what we've designed is we've built TSX can come in. So TSX comes in, and we will, this is the theory. Now I have to say theory, you know, because I haven't gone through telomere. This has been seen in animals, and if it works through every single one, whether they even be mammals or not, is it not going to work in us? Of course, now they're doing things and they're showing up starting to work since his. So this is, he said next decade, okay, we're there. But Sizzle is ahead of the future, and we're there, and we're doing it now. So now we can add TSX, we think we can do enough to build those 100. So if you are losing 100 due to duplication and we build it, what's the net loss? 0, okay? But now what we're going to do is we think the formula can build maybe as much from 100 to maybe as many as 200 units. You see? So now what's happened? And at 50, you are aging how fast? 2 days for every day you live. So here's your spouse. What's their biological or chronological age? 51. They've aged 2 years. They are 52 biologically. What's your chronological age? 51. You've reversed it 2 years. You are 48 in 1 year. Next year, that old duffer is 54, and you're a hot mama, and you're 46, okay? And getting hotter. And then it goes 44, and 56, and 42, and 58, and then he crosses 60, and you're 40 forever. You see? How is that? 40 forever! Now, how many people in the world do you know that want to grow younger? How many people like to be in their 40s forever? Now, maybe if you're in your 70s we can't do it, but how about 50? Would you settle for that if you're in your 70s? Yeah. Of course. That's what science promises. We've taken the studies, we've formulated the products. Have we proven it to do that? No, but we're taking it off the scientific studies. You can see the studies it did. We're using the studies that one of them showed that it took a certain amount to do it. And we're using almost 3 times that amount in ours. Why? How fast do you want to grow young? Fast as possible. And that's what we're trying to do. So in order to grow young, you've got to turn on the genes of youth because you've got to have the energetic. If you're rebuilding the telomeres, you need the energy. You need all that increase in activity. You need those sirtuin genes all playing. The genes that grew you that have got switched off and you're going down, let's switch them on so you go back. Let's provide the nutrients you need. Let's knock all the toxins out of our environment. Let's reorganize our body, get our immune system, take inflammation down. And where are we? We've got this big piece of pie right here. And this big piece of pie is, we'll call it 40 forever. Okay? 40 forever. So in comes eternity. In comes TSX. In comes Spectramax. And in comes Fucoidan. Okay? And so what have you got left? This piece is probably a little smaller. And so you got an unknown right here. But we think we got it from here to here. Do we have the complete answer? No, we're going to find other things that are going to do it. But we think we're probably close to 95% there. Is that good enough for you? Yeah. What's the alternative? Nothing. This is 95% there. This is 40s forever. It works in animals, all kinds of animals. If you're an animal or if you're married to an animal, it will work for them. This is the kind of stuff that happens. So what have we got here? There's nothing like this in the world. This is a short one. I can take it short and look how fast I'm going on. I can come in here next time, Put 1,000 people in here. I can do this. I can do it for longer. You can create. You can change life. You can make people younger, more energetic, living longer. You can create wealth and success and happiness. This economy is going down. We can go up. We can go against it. We're growing right now, and we're growing fast. So the future's in your hands. You got the company. I'm here. I make $5,000 a month. That's all I make. Because the IRS says you got to take that much. I don't need the money. What I do is I am spending the rest of my life to help you to make your life better. And that's my mission. My reward. The way I get paid is your success. I have been given God-given talents, ability, and resources, and I darn well am going to put it to use. Because I love to do it. Not just because when I meet my maker, he'll say, I gave you all this, and what did you do? Golf? You know? No. I'm helping people to make their lives the best that they can be, and I think that's why these things are here, and that's my mission. So if you're not in this company, get in it. You need us, and we need you. And now's the time. Thank you, everybody.